Hello, guys. It's really been a while on this platform, and guess what? So good to be here again. So good to be back. So good to be rounding off our section on mind shift. We'll be saying so much about mind shift this month, and trust me, it has been so wonderful, so awesome, and we've said a lot, quite a lot. Yeah, we said a lot. So today we are going to be rounding up everything as regards mind shift this week. So happy new week. Trusting that you're going to have a positive mindset towards yourself this week. You're going to have a positive mind shift towards everything around you. So follow me as I give you the story, or as I tell the there's this guy who tend to be down, and then he tends to actually grow up from an environment where everything seems like nothing. Yeah, everything seems like so much nothing, and he everything is dry. He lives in a village, a very small village where everything seems to be so dry, nothing seems to be showing forth, and so many things like that. So imagine you find yourself in such environment where things are not looking the way you want it to look, things are not working the way you expect it to work, and so many things surrounding it. Now, guess what? One day he was actually in his father's farm, and as he was there, he was working. There's this plant that his father actually planted there, and they decided to observe and watch the plant grow. So, as they watched the plant grow, they discovered that at a particular time when they stopped nurturing the plant, when they stopped giving the plant the attention that the plant actually needed, the plant stopped growing. So the boy decided to make that plant find possibility, to find energy, to find strength. And he told himself that, okay, fine, if this plant will eventually grow again, if I give this plant all the attention that it needs, then I believe that something good can certainly come out from my whole life. Now, the father that owns that farm, that they decided to plant the plant, they already give up on the plant because he already look at the plant that the plant actually has nothing left to really offer them. But the child chose not to give up on the plant. So this child eventually gave the plant the attention, the whatsoever everything the plant needs to grow, and began to nurture the plant. As we began to nurture the plants along the line, suddenly the plant begins to grow again, and he was so excited the day he started seeing positive effect on the plant, that his effort was not wasted, his time was not wasted, his energy was not wasted, and so many things like that. Now, what am I trying to say, telling you the story of this guy? Now, all these things that happened to this guy actually gave this guy hope back again, that okay, if these plants look like nothing is coming out from it, and eventually when I decided to give it another chance, something began to pop out from it, something began to make sense or make meaning out of it, then certainly something can make meaning out of my life. So now the question is, how does this relate to mind shift? What effect does this plant relate to what I'm saying? What effect does that plant relate to that boy? Now get it. That plant is more or less like environment issues, or whatsoever it is that has happened to any individual in life, or whatsoever it is that you have gone through. Now look at the case of the father with the plant. The father already had a wrong perception about the plants, like he wasn't seeing anything good from the plant. So literally, something about life is that there are times, there are situations, there are things that happen to you that you literally don't see something good coming from yourself. You don't see something good coming from things around you. You don't see something good really coming out from other people that probably you have really right off around you, and so many things like that. And suddenly, guess what? The child decided to take a second look at the plant. Now, he decided to change a meaning to that plant. He decided to give a meaning to the plant. He decided to find a good perception for the plant. So sometimes when you have things lurking around you, probably you need to change your perception towards it. You need to change the meaning you give to it. You need to change the interpretations and the understanding you give to it. And he said, okay, me giving it a different interpretation, let me just devote my time, my attention, or whatever it is that I might probably need to get this thing up back now. So what do you need to get yourself to become better? What do you need to get yourself out of that particular zone that seems impossible? What do you think you need right now to really help yourself in your current situation? I tell someone, we were probably talking, and I told the person that when you sit down sulking around a particular situation is not the solution. So the best solution is you doing something. The question is, what do you want to do? What is it that you need to do to really solve whatever it is that is happening at this moment? Okay, something happened. I entered a bike one day, and I actually wanted to enter a bike, yeah. And I gave the bike man 1,000 naira, and the bike man was like, I don't have change. And he was just standing there, he was just looking at me like, I don't have change. And I said, is it the fact that you don't have change that we want to keep discussing here? Or probably let's just find a solution to the fact that you don't have change. Now that you're still at the park, you have your friends that you can really call and be like, okay, guy, can you please help me change this money? And they help you change the money, and before you know it, we are gone. But when you sit down saying, I don't have change, I don't have change, is that really going to solve the issue? So many are times when we are faced with so many things around us, probably when things are so, we are so overwhelmed by things in our thoughts, in how whatsoever it is that we are thinking about our lives and things around us, or probably our future, we tend to so much sulk, and we just go deep into that thing that we don't even tend to want to look at solutions or probably ideas that might actually help us from that thing. And before you know it, we become so overwhelmed by emotions, and we forget that we need to focus more on the solution than how we are feeling about a particular thing at that moment. And that's why emotional intelligence is very, very important. It is so, so important in every part of your life as an individual. So when people kind of like sit down like, oh, you are still thinking about it, you think about this, you think about that, fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't think about it. I'm not saying you shouldn't be emotional about it. I'm just saying that those things are not really going to help that situation at that particular moment, especially if it's certain situations that actually need emergency things. I see situations whereby people were rushed to the hospital, UCH, and as a social welfare, there are things that warrant that you rush that person come make decisions for that person. That person might probably not be your family member, but at that time they say that they need something, they need someone to quickly make a decision that's going to help them save their life. And if you don't make that decision at that particular time, there's sense that the person's life is going to go with it. So the same way it is to situations of life at times, you just need to make certain decisions. That was what that boy did. He said, okay, let me not give up on this thing, let me give it time, let me give it extra energy. And he didn't just say let me not give up, and he was just looking, and he was just thinking, yeah, let me just no, he decided to invest things that plant needs to grow into that thing. So if you need to become a better person of yourself, if you need to have a shift in mindset, if you need to have a shift in everything around you, then you need to do things that help you build a shift. And one of the things that you do that help you build a shift is, number one, the kind of information you take inside yourself. So this guy said, okay, this is what this plant needs, probably maybe a fertilizer, water, and so many kind of things. So the guy began to give it everything and attention. And you know what? Watch yourself grow with time. Be patient with yourself. As you are working on mind shift, as you are working on changing yourself, as you are working on becoming better, bigger, or aiming higher, give yourself time to grow. You need to calm down. Tell yourself, calm down, farabale. Yeah, farabale. So you need to learn to really, really give yourself time to grow, give yourself time to heal, give yourself time to become a better person, give your environment time to see what you're becoming. Yes, I posted something on my WhatsApp status of recent. I said, so this young lady that just became the cabinet commissioner, she said she's a black American, so she was like, she was really everything in her environment was not looking like it. Everything in her environment was not looking like all the things she has really, really dreamt of becoming. And there was one black woman that said something that really met her and caught her, and that was persevere. So I purposely post that thing because at every stage of life we need to learn to persevere. If you're becoming something, if you're achieving something, if you're working towards a goal, if you are going to become a better person, if you're going to be consistent at what you do, if you are going to be consistent in your work with God, if you are going to be consistent in your growing and bearing fruit for God, if you are going to be consistent even as a pastor, if you are going to be consistent in bringing more members to your church, you need to learn to persevere. You need to learn to keep keep that face going, regardless of whatever it is that is happening. So give it that energy, don't give up. Give it that patience, don't give up. Give it that love, don't give up. Give it whatsoever it is. I'm saying this because it applies to every areas of life, and what we actually position our mind to be as regards everything concerning our life is what our life begins to evolve around. And that is how we build a good sanity and a good mental health for ourselves. So that's all we are going to be talking about as regards month. We are going to be starting a new topic, and then guess what, I'm not going to do expo for you guys. I would like you to look forward to it. I hope you enjoyed this month section talking about mind shift. If you've not been listening at all, I would implore you, or I would beg you to please go back and check our videos from the beginning of the month. We've said so much about mind shift, and I really want you to learn something from the story of the unknown guy who never gave up on the plant, and the plant tends to give him hope to concerning his life. So I hope you guys will be able to work with this and will be able to do well with this. I'm still your psychotherapist. My name is Rema. And guess what now? Who watched what Will Smith actually did to that guy? I don't know. I personally have different opinions about it, but you know what? I don't want to say much because I don't want to be controversial about it. But this is the question: if you are the one, would you slap someone for making jest of your spouse? I'll see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to invite your friends, and don't forget